What does a city feel in the final hours before it disappears? Not when flames are already devouring streets, not when people are running. Earlier than that, in the quiet moments when everything still seems ordinary, when bread is still baking in ovens, when merchants argue over prices, when children laugh in narrow alleyways, and when no one yet understands that time has begun to run out. The morning sun rises over Pompeii as it has for centuries, casting warm light across tiled roofs and painted walls. Mount Vesuvius stands nearby, silent and familiar, a green slope that farmers trust and travelers admire. The volcano is part of the landscape, not a threat. It has slept for generations. People walk beneath it without fear. Pompeii is alive. Wealthy villas decorated with colourful frescoes open onto gardens filled with fountains and statues. Bakers prepare loaves stamped with family seals. Market stalls fill with olives, figs, and freshly caught fish brought in from the coast. Slaves move quickly through crowded streets carrying amphorae of wine and baskets of laundry. The air smells of bread, sweat, perfume, and sea salt. It is a Roman city in motion. Loud, proud, confident. Citizens discuss politics beneath porticos. Senators and merchants exchange news from Rome. Graffiti covers the walls, jokes, insults, advertisements for gladiator games. Dogs bark, chariots rattle over stone roads worn smooth by decades of travel. The rhythm of life continues, unaware that history is about to freeze it forever. For many, this day begins like any other, yet subtle signs linger beneath the surface. Small tremors have shaken the region for days, perhaps weeks. Minor earthquakes are common here. People barely notice anymore. Cups rattle slightly on tables. Birds scatter for a moment, then return. The ground has always moved a little. That is simply how life is. But beneath the mountain, pressure builds. Deep underground, magma rises slowly through cracks in the Earth's crust. Gases accumulate, trapped, compressed. Invisible forces gather strength. No one in Pompeii understands volcanic science. They have no words for what is coming, no warning system, no concept of the scale of danger. Only myths, only gods. The hours pass. By midday, the streets grow hotter. The sun climbs high. Workers pause to drink watered wine. Children chase each other through courtyards. The amphitheatre stands ready for future games. Public baths echo with conversation and laughter as citizens relax in steam-filled chambers. Life feels secure, stable. Some residents may notice something unusual, a faint smell of sulfur drifting through the air, animals acting strangely, dogs whining. But nothing yet seems urgent. Nothing screams catastrophe. Then, sometime early in the afternoon, the mountain awakens. A violent explosion tears through the summit of Vesuvius. The sound is not like thunder. It is deeper, more powerful, a cracking roar that echoes across the bay. The peak fractures as pressure finally escapes, sending a towering column of ash, gas, and rock shooting miles into the sky. From Pompeii, people look up and see a dark cloud rising, tall, dense, and shaped like a pine tree, its trunk stretching upward before spreading into a vast canopy. Confusion spreads first. What is that? Some stand frozen, staring. Others rush to rooftops for a better view. Many feel curiosity rather than fear. Natural wonders are signs from the gods. Perhaps this is an omen. Ash begins to fall like grey snow. At first, lightly, almost beautiful. Children reach out their hands. Adults brush powder from their shoulders. Conversations grow louder. Anxiety begins to replace curiosity. The sky darkens. The eruption intensifies. Explosions send pumice stones raining down, light, porous rocks that bounce against rooftops and streets. People hear them striking tiles like relentless hail. The noise grows deafening. Roofs begin to crack under the accumulating weight. The city realizes something is wrong. Families gather belongings quickly. Some decide to leave immediately, heading toward the city gates, hoping to escape by foot or cart. Others hesitate, waiting for instructions, trusting that authorities will restore order. Many retreat indoors, believing stone walls will protect them. Fear grows slowly. Then suddenly, the sun disappears behind thick ash clouds. Day turns to twilight. Lamps are lit earlier than expected. Smoke fills the air, stinging eyes and throats. Breathing becomes harder. Pompeii is no longer loud with commerce. Now it echoes with shouting. People pray to Jupiter, to Venus, to any god who might listen. Parents clutch children tightly. Wealthy citizens order slaves to pack valuables, jewelry, coins, documents. Some try to load wagons, but streets become crowded and chaotic. Outside the city, the sea behaves strangely. Accounts from nearby witnesses describe waters withdrawing or becoming turbulent, as if disturbed by invisible forces. Ships struggle against unpredictable currents. Inside Pompeii, ash continues to fall, thicker and faster. Hours pass, panic grows. Pumice stones pile knee-deep in streets, slowing movement. Roofs collapse under weight, trapping families inside. Some who tried to remain sheltered realize too late that their homes are becoming tombs. Night arrives early. Total darkness covers the city. Not the gentle darkness of evening, but a suffocating blackness so complete that people cannot see their own hands. Lightning flashes within the ash cloud, illuminating the sky with ghostly bursts. Thunder-like explosions continue, relentless. People wander blindly, calling for loved ones. Some cover their mouths with cloth to breathe. Others stumble over fallen debris. The air smells of sulfur and burning minerals. Every breath feels heavier than the last. Some choose to stay together and wait. Others run without direction, driven by instinct rather than reason. The eruption enters a new phase. Columns of ash collapse under their own weight, sending deadly surges of superheated gas racing down the slopes of Vesuvius. These pyroclastic flows move faster than a human can run. They are silent at first. Invisible walls of heat and ash descending toward the city. But before the final destruction arrives, Pompeii endures long hours of uncertainty. Imagine the waiting, families huddled in darkness, listening to the constant rumble. Parents whispering reassurance they do not believe. People wondering if dawn will come, or if the world itself is ending. Some escape successfully. Archaeological evidence shows that many residents fled during these early stages. They carried valuables, leaving doors open behind them, yet thousands remain, trapped by injury, confusion, loyalty, or disbelief. Human nature resists sudden change. Even in disaster, many hesitate to abandon what feels permanent. Throughout the night, ash layers grow thicker. Streets vanish beneath grey drifts. Statues disappear. Gardens vanish. Pompeii slowly transforms into a ghost city, buried piece by piece. Breathing becomes more difficult. Oxygen grows scarce as volcanic gases spread. Some collapse from exhaustion. Others continue walking until they simply cannot move anymore. Near the harbour, crowds gather, hoping to escape by sea. But conditions worsen. Ash falls onto water, reducing visibility. Panic spreads among sailors and passengers alike. Somewhere nearby, the Roman writer Pliny the Younger observes events from across the bay, later describing the strange cloud and the terror it inspired. His uncle, Pliny the Elder, sails toward the disaster, attempting rescue and investigation, only to die amid toxic fumes. The world of Pompeii is unraveling. By early morning of the next day, the eruption reaches its deadliest stage. The towering column collapses repeatedly, sending pyroclastic surges directly toward the city. These flows carry temperatures hotter than any fire people have known. The first surge reaches Pompeii's outskirts. A blast of scorching gas and ash moves through streets, entering houses, filling spaces instantly. Those still alive experience a sudden, overwhelming heat. Death comes quickly. Silence follows. Layer upon layer of ash settles over the city, sealing everything beneath a protective tomb. Buildings remain largely intact, frozen in time. Food remains on tables. Tools lie where workers dropped them. Even footprints remain preserved. Pompeii disappears from the living world. Days pass, weeks, years, memory fades. Survivors rebuild elsewhere. New generations grow up hearing stories of a city destroyed by divine wrath or natural fury. The volcano sleeps again. Centuries bury the past further beneath soil and legend. The exact location of Pompeii becomes uncertain. Life moves forward as it always does. Empires rise and fall. Languages change, the world forgets. Until rediscovery. When archaeologists begin uncovering the buried city nearly 2,000 years later, they do not find ruins alone. They find lives interrupted mid-moment. Bodies preserved in final poses. People shielding loved ones, clutching treasures, or simply lying where exhaustion overcame them. These casts reveal something deeply human. Not just tragedy, but reality. Pompeii is not a myth or symbol. It was a community of real individuals, each with dreams, fears, and routines that felt permanent. The final 24 hours tell a story not only of destruction, but of human behavior in crisis. Some acted quickly and survived. Some hesitated. Some stayed to protect family. Some believed safety would return if they simply waited long enough. Across history, humanity repeats these patterns. We assume tomorrow will resemble today. We trust stability. We ignore subtle warnings because change feels unimaginable. And yet, time moves forward without asking permission. Pompeii reminds us that history is not distant. It is immediate, fragile. Stand in the ruins today and you see streets still marked by cart tracks, painted walls still bright with color, gardens reconstructed where flowers once grew. Silence fills spaces where voices once echoed, and beyond it all, Mount Vesuvius remains. Quiet, watchful. The same mountain that watched Pompeii live now watches us remember. Perhaps that is the deepest lesson of Pompeii's final day. Not simply that disaster can strike without warning, but that life continues even as endings approach. People laugh, work, love, and hope until the final moment. Humanity persists in ordinary routines, even as history prepares to change forever. The last hours of Pompeii were not defined solely by fear. They were filled with human choices, courage, denial, compassion, confusion. The city did not die in a single instant. It faded through stages, each hour revealing another layer of vulnerability. In those final moments, individuals faced the unknown as humans always have, searching for meaning, seeking safety, holding on to one another. Today, when we walk through the preserved streets, we walk through time itself. We see the imprint of sandals in ash, the curve of a doorway worn by countless hands, the remains of meals abandoned halfway through preparation. It feels intimate, personal, as if the city paused rather than ended. And maybe that is why Pompeii continues to capture imagination centuries later. Because it shows us ourselves, not heroes from myth, but ordinary people caught between routine and catastrophe. The day Pompeii died was also the day it became immortal, a moment frozen between life and silence, a reminder carved into stone and ash that every ordinary morning carries unseen possibilities, and that beneath the calm surface of the world, forces are always moving, always waiting. And somewhere beyond the ruins, Vesuvius still rises against the sky, unchanged, reminding us that history is never truly past. It is only waiting to be uncovered.